So in this video, we're talking about how to write an equation for a graph, a sine or a cosine graph. And so we have a wave here, and what you're going to do is you're going to find the pieces in order. So if I write this down, you're going to have y equals a for your amplitude, some trig equation, sine or cosine. You're going to have some b value, theta minus c, which is your phase shift, and then plus d, which is your vertical shift. So in order, we're going to start with d, my vertical slide, and that's the line that cuts the graph in half. So on this graph, the line that cuts my graph in half is 2. So my vertical slide is 2, and it was up. And then from there, you're going to go back to the other end of the equation and find the amplitude. The amplitude is how high up or how low you go from this vertical slide. So I go up or down a total of 2. Yes, there are 4 squares there, but if you read the scale very carefully, each one of these is a half. So my amplitude is 2. And then from there, you're going to figure out what your period is. So to do your period, you are going to go from common point to common point. So in this case, I'm going to go from a hill to a hill. So I'm going to go from the top of this hill, and I'm going to count all the way across the top of that hill right there. And if you note in the directions, it says that every square is worth pi over 4. So if you count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pi over 4. So 12 pi over 4, which is equal to 3 pi. So my period over here is 3 pi. I'm then going to use that to figure out what my b value is. So if my period is 3 pi, I know that 2 pi over b has to equal my period, which in this case is 3 pi. You're going to multiply the b over, so 2 pi equals 3 pi b. Divide by your 3 pi and divide by your 3 pi. The pi's cancel off, and b is equal to 2 over 3. Maximum and minimum, you're just going to list your ordered pairs here. So I have a maximum right here at, say, it's negative 3 pi over 4, comma 4. And I have a minimum right here at 3 pi over 4, comma 0. Okay, so your phase shift. When you do your phase shift, it really depends on what trig function you have. So let's start by doing the sine graph. If you were doing sine, and I'm just going to quickly graph. If you were doing sine, sine starts right here at 0 and it goes up to 1, and then back down to 0, and then down to negative 1 and back up again. So sine starts in the middle and then goes up, down. Well, this right here is the middle, but instead of going up like I'm supposed to and down, this graph goes down and then up, which means I don't need to shift it at all, I need to reflect it. So if I want to reflect this valley to become a hill down here like it's supposed to, I just need to make the amplitude negative. So one version of the equation you could write is y equals negative 2 to flip it, sine 2 over 3 theta plus 2. So there's one version of the equation. Instead of flipping it, you could phase shift it, and you could pick this point right here, and I would pick this one, or you could pick this one over here, but I'm going to use this one either way. I'm going to pick that one because that's in the middle. It's not a low point or a high point, it's the middle point, and from here the graph goes up. So if I count, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pi over 4. 6 pi over 4, which is really the same thing as 3 pi over 2. So if I had to write an equation with a phase shift, I would write y equals 2 sine 2 over 3 theta. This was 3 pi over 2 to the right, so minus 3 pi over 2 plus 2. So those are both the same sine equation. And if you had picked this point, oh, sorry, hang on, there's an announcement.
Ken Nolulu, your mother is waiting out front for you. Ken Nolulu, your mother is waiting out front, please.
And if you had picked this point over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 pi over 4, but this one would have been to the left, so this could have been a plus instead of a minus. Now, we could also ask you to write a cosine equation. And if you were to write a cosine equation, you don't want to start at the middle point. If you think about cosine right here at 1, it starts up here, and then it goes down, and then it goes up like this. So cosine starts up at a hill and then goes down, which means I need to take this hill or this hill and move it back to that y-axis. I'm going to use this one because it's just closer. So 1, 2, 3 to the left. So a cosine version of the equation is y equals 2 is my amplitude. I'm going to put cosine 2 over 3 theta. We just said that I went left 3 pi over 4, and then you can have a plus 2 at the end of your equation for that vertical slide. And that would have gone right there. I just ran out of room. So all of these are right. There's lots of different versions you can have. So now that you know how to do this, you can go back to Edmodo. You need to try number 2 and number 3, and you can check Edmodo to see if the answers that you got are right.